Hello friends, it's Jay from Encore Digital. Welcome back. So in this lecture, we will set up our environment. We will install all the things we need. We'll get our database ready. Okay, so let's get in. Okay, so the very first thing, we are using two things, as you know, Python and PostgreSQL as database. So let's install PostgreSQL first of all. So head over to postgresql.org website and then click download. And then based on your operating system, click. Mine is Windows. Go on Windows and then download the installer. Download the latest one. Mine is 16.4-bit. So install 16.4-bit. And it will start. Mine is already installed. I have already downloaded it, installed it. So you guys go ahead. I will pause mine. So I'll pause here. So once it is installed, it will install two things. It will install the PostgreSQL as a server, as well as it will install pgadmin, which is a GUI, so you can interact with the PostgreSQL database. So once it is installed, you have gone through the installation, then just type pgadmin, and it will be this one app. Brilliant. So it is up and running. So very first time when you're gonna set it up, it will ask you to set up a password for your server. I have already set up my password, so when I know my password, so let me get in. Okay, brilliant. It is logged in. So as you can see, the servers. So so for you, when you will log in, you will see only Postgres. I was testing something out, so I just have one old. So let's very first thing we need to do is we need to create a database for our project, our data. Now before that, but from where we're gonna get the data? So and then we can understand the data, and based on that we can create our database schema, we can create everything. So this is the crucial part. So the best thing is, so there is a website called Financial Modeling Prep. So this website provides us an API. It has lots of APIs. These guys are brilliant. You know, they have provided all the financial data with the APIs. So they are in JSON format. As you can see, they have this company profile. You can search with the company name. And then course, and the things which we are interested is the financial statements. So if you scroll down, you will see the financial statements. Now here we have the income statements. For example, let's say I click on this one. This is Apple one, so it will open Apple one. As you can see, it is the income statement of Apple. So this is for this financial year, and it all goes back to last 10 years up to 2009. So we have the 10 years of data, everything, how much revenue growth, and all the things, operating and expense and net income, EPS, and everything. It's brilliant. So this is the financial statement. Similar, like you have the balance sheet again for 10 years. So we have all the data, what is total asset, current assets, liabilities, and net debt, all things. And then you have cash flow statement. So we have the cash flow statement. It's all in the JSON. And then you have the company financial ratios. So this is the ratios related to the investment, profitability. So they are the ratios. Actually, they have a couple of two of the URLs for the ratios. So they have this one, and then there is key metrics one as well, which come down. We will use that one because that is more. It includes everything. But if you guys feel there is something here, then we will use that one as well. Don't worry. So okay, so moving on, then enterprise value. So here as well, so if I click enterprise value, it covers, okay, what is market capitalization, number of shares. Now we will use this one because I can't find number of shares in other ones, so we will use this one. So basically we're going to get all the data, and all the data is for last 10 years. So the idea is for each and every company, we're going to get all the data for last 10 years in our database, and then we can query as we want with all our criteria. The data will be with us, and we have then the power to do anything. Moving on, then we have the key metrics. So and then key metrics, having all the metrics. It goes the book value for the share, P ratios, then you have the price to book ratio. All sorts of ratios are here. So all the metrics, brilliant. Then moving on, financial growth. So here it is in the growth wise. We will save this data as well in our database, but I'm not going to use it because of course we can use it we can calculate all these things as well from the data in the other sources. So because many times the ratios you can divide and those sort of things. But have a look on all these APIs because they're brilliant. There's a lot of data, guys, and we're gonna get all this data into our database. Okay, so let's go back to our PG admin. Let's make our schema because we're gonna save this data. Now before getting the data, because as you can see all these APIs are stock based, so we have to give slash, for example, let's say for this one Apple, if AAPL. So if I change a stock to something else, let's say Disney, DIS is the ticker name, so then you get DIS. So as you can see, as I type different ticker names, it will give me the data. Now we need to get all the tickers. You might have all the tickers or the tickers you are interested in, so you might have all the data. But what I'm gonna do is because I'm doing this analysis, so I want to find out all the stocks which passes the grams all the criterias. So I'm gonna get so there is one another API which lists all the stocks. So let's see where it's symbols list. So this one. So if I click on this one, this is quite big. So if I click, it will take time. But it has, I think in total, if I tried, it is still downloading. So I think it's around 14,000 because they have different. It covers, I think, the ETFs as well, not just the stocks. It covers ETFs and indexes and all those sort of things, as you can see. So, but there are four main things here. There is a symbol, which is a ticker. Then the name of that, stock name or ticker name, hidden index name, and then you have the price and the exchange. So this is the current price, which is very good as well. And they provide the other APIs before the historic prices as well and the price. We'll come to that later on. So this is brilliant. So what I have found is that the stocks which we targeting, of course, they are NASDAQ Global Select, and they comes under the New York Stock Exchange. Have a look, because when I in NOC or so they go through those ones. There are many indexes or the ETFs which we are not interested, or at least I'm not interested here right now. But go through the list. If you feel there are other things, we can get the ticker. But I'm gonna focus on the exchanges, NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, first of all we need to have the list of the tickers, like I mentioned, because APIs we need to provide the ticker name, like DIS or AAPL, Apple. So let's create a new database first of all. So we don't have a database, so let's right click on the database, create database, and then I'm gonna create stocks-US because these are all US based. You might be want to do later on the UK stocks or somewhere else, but these APIs are only for the US stocks. So I'm gonna go with the stocks US as the database name, and then I click save. Okay, we have our database. Now go to the schema, then there is one public schema, so go on there, and there are tables. So if you click there, we don't have any table right now, so we need to create a table. So right click the tables, create table tickers. So in the tickers, so then we go to columns. Now here we're gonna make columns for that particular table. So for tickers, as you can see, we have these four things. So what I'm trying to do is, when we go to this API, we can save this information. This will give us the list of all the tickers, and then based on the list of the ticker, based on each of the ticker, then we can go to the all other APIs and get the financial data. So let's make a column. So very first column I'm going to make is ID. So ID, and then the data type I'm going to use is serial. Now serial here is, if you guys have used MySQL, then we used to give like auto increment. So this is the ID column, and serial gonna auto increment. So in MySQL we used to give the integer, and then we used to specify it as an auto increment. But here we're gonna do, okay, ID is serial, and then I'm gonna make it as a primary key, and of course it is primary key in MySQL. It is by default not null. Here's not. Okay, I'm gonna make it not null. And then the next one I'm gonna do is stock. What is the stock? And then this is text, and it is not, I'm gonna make not null. I'm gonna make one more thing. I'm gonna make it unique. Now in MySQL or PHP, if you guys have used, it is straight away you can just click that checkbox and it is there to unique. But here the way to do is that you have to go into the constraints, then go into the unique, and then I have to add a constraint. So let's say for this one, because this is a ticker table, I'm gonna make t underscore this is stock underscore unique, and then I have to pick the column, but unfortunately I'm not able to pick the column from here. So what you have to do is you have to click this edit row. If you go to the edit row, then go to the definition, and here it will allow you to select the column which is stock, because we want to make the stock. Now don't click save here, because if you click save here it will create two columns, but we have to add more. But even if you have click the save button, let me do it because I can explain. If you have done accidentally, I will tell you what needs to be done. Let's say if I have done accidentally, I have to click save. Oh, actually it created only two columns, ID and stock. I wanted to add more, so what should I do? So click on the ticket again and go to the properties. Go back properties, you will come back to again. So okay, we can carry on. See, it has changed to integer now, because what Postgres has done is all the data type, when we give serial, it is integer behind, but it then gives it auto increment. You will see when I show you the SQL. So let's add the other columns. So we got the stock, then we're gonna get the stock name, the complete one. Like stock is AAPL, the stock name is Apple. So that would be text, and I don't want it null, so not null. And then the next one is current price, as you know. So current price, because it is can be float or decimal, you can it's numeric basically. So data type is numeric. And then the next one is exchange. Exchange, I'm going to text. So this is the exchange which is on here, like Nasdaq Global Select, New York Stock Exchange. So basically we have created our table with all the columns to get these four fields. Okay, I think we are pretty done. So we have created all our table columns. So if I click save, as you can see, this is the one. So where I was saying we have given ID serial, but in the behind the scenes it is integer, but they have given the next value, which is basically the auto increment in the MySQL. Okay, so in this particular table we will get all the stocks, list of the stocks. Now we know that okay, these are the stocks, whatever 3,000 4,000 would be, and then we're gonna query on each of them to get all the financial data. Now when we're gonna get the financial data, we have to save it somewhere, because we don't want to hit the API again and again. What we want is we want to save all the data in our database so that we can query numerous times, we can do whatever we want to do, all those sort of things. So let's go to we're gonna create another table. So this was the tickers where we're gonna get the list of the stocks. Right click tables, create table. Then I'm gonna create another table which is financials. So in the financials, I'm gonna go to the column. Again, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna create an ID which is auto increment. So I have to give serial. So when I have given serial, I want it to display key. Then the next one, again stock, because we have all this financial data is for which stock in that particular row. So stock would be text. I don't want null. Again, I want constraint to be unique. I have to add. So here I will add, because this is financials starting with F, stock column. I want it unique. You can give any name. This is just a constraint name. But again, to add a column, I have to click add it, go to definition, and select the stock. Again, I'm not gonna click the save button this time. Go back to the columns and then carry on. Okay. So I got the stock. Now what other information we need to save? So for this one, close this one for typical list. Okay, here. So we want to get all the financial information, which is income statement. Okay, so we want to now see the income statement. income statement is in JSON format for last 10 years. Now, the reason I'm using Postgres is, although I think I can do on the MySQL as well, but the reason I'm doing on Postgres is because I can save this JSON as it is in my database, which I want, because I don't want to create all these columns, date, revenue, revenue growth. That would be too much work. So what I want to do is I just want to dump this JSON into my database so that I can query with Python at any time later on. And that's the reason I have gone with the PostgreSQL. And I'm sure this must be done in MySQL as well, so apologies upfront, guys, if you guys think it is too easy to be done in MySQL. Okay, so here we will have third column, which is income statement. So what I'm going to do is income statement column, each row would have the complete JSON of the 10 years data. Now the data type, because it is JSON, it provides us the data type JSON. Okay, so now on the income statement we have done, and the next one is, so if we close the income statement, next one is balance sheet, and after that we have cash flow. Okay, so if we have a balance underscore sheet, again the type is JSON because we want 10 years data in JSON, and then the next one is cash underscore flow, and then you have JSON. Okay, and then, okay, so we got three main financial information. Then next, what it provides me. So this is if we want to inquire for more than financial, like income statement for more than one ticker, so you can give by comma, but we're gonna cover with that by individually by Python anyway. So that's value. I mentioned we need enterprise value because it's gonna give us a market capitalization and also number of shares. So let me get the enterprise value. Value, yeah, okay, so this one would be JSON as well. And then moving on, then we have the key underscore metrics, which we just seen, so we'll go with JSON. And then what else we have? Okay, we've done the key metrics, we've done the enterprise value, financial growth. Okay, let's have the financial growth. So in financial growth we have, okay, how it has done on this one. We can calculate all those things as well, but let's say, okay, why not? Okay. Financial underscore growth. Okay, so this one would be JSON as well. Okay, so now all these JSONs, and this one done, this one done. Okay, what else we have? We have the company ratings. I'm not gonna go with that. Company discount, cash flow, I don't think so. I'm gonna put all those things. Yes, of course, when we shortlist any of the stocks, then you can come back here. You can, I think you have to do the due diligence anyway. Okay, yeah. Okay, going back. So I think I got everything here. So let me click save. So now I have both the tables, financials and tickers. I think we, on the database side, we have set up everything what we need. Now we need to set up Python because we haven't done the Python. Okay, so for Python, I am assuming you guys have Python already installed on your system. If not, please go to the Python, search Python on website, and then there will be, you will be able to install, like you just Python install, and then you will be have download Python. You can download for Windows and Mac and those kind of things. So I assume you already have Python. So what I'm gonna do is I've got a great stop screen, so I'm gonna rename it as value custom as a folder. Okay, I'm gonna open it. So in this folder, okay, so with the Python, what we guys gonna do is that we're gonna create a virtual environment. If you haven't heard of virtual environment before, virtual environment is basically, rather than installing, because we're gonna need some packages, yeah, as even to connect to the Postgres, and there could be other one as well. As we go in the financials, we use pandas, numpy, and those sort of things. We're not gonna use those ones in this series, but with Python comes with lots of libraries, and that's the beauty about it. And rather than installing all those packages globally, because sometimes you install new packages just want to try on those sort of things, it is always best to have the virtual environment. Virtual environment is an environment where all the packages will be installed in that. If you delete that environment, you're not messing up with your whole computer. Okay, so in order to do that, okay, I'm on Windows, as you can see. I'm going to go to CMD, and I'm gonna go to my value investing folder. Okay, so now if you have just installed the Python, so what you should do is that you should install pip as well. So just search on Google pip install, then you will go to the website, and then you're gonna go to the installation. Okay, I already have, but why not? Okay, let me do that again. Okay, I'm gonna install pip. So pip is basically a package program, so it helps to install the libraries easily. So I'm gonna go to here, just type that command, get, and then after that I'm gonna run this one, get pip. Okay, I already have the pip, so as you can see, it has uninstalled my previous version. Now it is installing the latest, which was the same version. So good. Now I have the pip. So now we have a pip, so we can easily install other ones. So let's say pip, if you haven't got the virtual environment, do the pip install virtual env. So this is a virtual environment. If you press enter, so this will, as you can see, I already have the virtual environment, but if you click, then it will install for you. Now we have the virtual environment, so we're going to activate that one. So we have to create a virtual environment now. So I want to create virtual environment in my value investing folder. So how can I do? So easy, just type virtual env and then environment name. You can name it anything. I usually give env, just shorter. And then when you do that, so press enter, then it will start creating an environment for you. I will quickly show you once it is done, because this will be created in the folder where we're working on. In my case, it is value investing on the desktop. So okay, it's done. So now as you can see, it has installed get pip environment here. Environment, you will see scripts and libraries. So to activate environment, now guys, I'm in the Windows, so I can see scripts. In Mac, it in the environment it is bin, and then you go to the activate. So I will show you. So for example, in scripts, here is activate. Now I have to do, so because I'm in value investing, I'm gonna go environment and scripts. Okay, then I'm gonna type activate. So see, here the environment is activated. So whatever the commands, Python commands whatever I'm gonna install, it's gonna install in this environment. Previously everything was installed globally, so this virtual environment was installed globally. That's why basically we were able to create an environment, because we need virtual environment globally before. Okay, so now we are in the in that environment. I'm gonna come out. So we are now back into the value investing folder. Now in this folder we have now environment ready. Now we need to install few things. One main is that in order to connect to our Postgres database, we need, so for example, if you have worked with Python before, as you know, if it's connecting to the MySQL, we used to use PyMySQL. So we have the similar package for the Postgres, which is PSYCOPG2. So if I install this one, it installed. Now I'm gonna install another package which is called pip tablet. It is it's just to show when we're gonna work through the Python, when we're gonna display our table. So it is just it's a little bit pretty. If you don't need, you don't need, but if you want, you will see later on when we will be working in our next lectures. We will show the data, then it is good. So I'm gonna install this one. Okay, so I think our everything is ready from Python point of view as well. I will quickly show you in the environments. Yes guys, if you are working on the Mac, then you have to do source, because like you have seen here, I have in the scripts. In Mac it is, the way you will activate is source bin activate. So you have to go into the environment, of course, because we are in value investing, so you have to go environment bin activate like that. So then your environment will be activated. And if I have to deactivate this one, like, then I have to just deactivate. As you can see, it is deactivated now. So brilliant. So our database is ready, so we can install all our data in it, and we have our Python and all the packages ready as well. Environment is ready. So in our next lecture, then we will start getting our data in our database. So we will write a Python program to get all the tickers, and then further we will write the Python program to get all the financial data, and then in further lectures then we will apply all the criterias which Graham mentioned in the Intelligent Investor book, and we will see, okay, of all the stocks, which of them fits or passes all those criterias, and then we will see, okay, what these mean and all those sort of things, where then we can apply further criteria, we can apply further filters and all those sort of things. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna close this one, and I'm gonna have a next lecture where we will then start getting the data. Good. Stay safe, guys. Cheers. Bye.